Hey guys, it's Kate Journey, and I am back today with yet another creative adventure. So what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be playing to my weaknesses, and we are going to be brainstorming, and then in another video we'll be outlining a short story. Um, I tend to accidentally take short stories and turn them into full-length novels, so this is going to be an exercise in brevity for me, which is going to be a really big challenge, but I think it's going to be fun. And I'm not actually going to write it. I'm just, once again, we're just outlining, brainstorming and outlining. And so anyway, I took a list of dark fantasy prompts, like short story prompts, from a website called Quill and Steel. These are really, really cool. I did not come up with these, and I kind of love them. So what we're gonna do is I'm going to pick a couple of these, and at least one, maybe two. I'm kind of considering two. And then we're gonna be brainstorming and just kind of riffing on ideas off of them. So I'm debating on. So there's two that I'm debating on adding together. So there's a forest of blood red trees whispers secrets to travelers who dare enter, most never leave. Or I can do that with where is it? A desert where the sand is made of crushed bones hides the ruin of an ancient city that breathes. I love the idea of the desert of bones leading to this city that's full of these blood red trees. So I think I'm going to do that. So let's start with writing out our prompt. So, desert where the sand equals bones. Crushed. Um, and then leads to, or no, it hides ruins that breathe. And have blood red trees that whisper secrets. Okay, I was writing that at a very funky angle, and definitely leaned into my my mic there. Okay, so a couple of questions that we need to start off with is how does my character know sand equals bones? So is this like a legend? Is this, scientific fact? Um, does he live next to the desert? He or she or they live nearby? So that's like our first main question there. And then what is main character motivation to go to the city? So those are kind of like if I'm trying to figure out what to do with this prompt, what would be the main reason that my character, even just not counting the blood red trees that whisper secrets, how do they know about the sand? Because there are beaches, across the world that have sand that's actually like fossilized, I think it's starfish or something like that, which I think is like so cool. But how do you know, that the sand is crushed bones? Number one. And then how do they know about the city that's on the inside? Is there like I'm leaning towards a legend. I'm leaning towards this journey happening because of a legend. And maybe what we need to do is we need to create the legend. and create incentive to go to city. Because like nobody's just going to go here out of curiosity. I shouldn't say that. A lot of humans have done a lot of weird things for curiosity. I would say that it's less likely to do with curiosity and more to do with desperation. So, what is the promise that legend says about city? So maybe the trees tell you what your fate is, or maybe the legend is the trees whisper messages from the dead. Ooh, I like that. I like that a lot. Okay, we're gonna grab this pen. Okay, so maybe so let's say, okay, trees whisper messages from the dead. So that would lean into maybe our main character's motivation is they have someone they love on other side. That could be a motivation. It could be that they're looking for something. And the dead person has the answers. Okay, so we're telling the story now, right? So this person that we have their desire to go to this city is because maybe the trees whisper messages from the dead. I actually really really like that. Okay, so now our main questions are why does the city breathe? And why the crushed bones? So I'm kind of leaning towards this idea that the trees are lungs. Like that. Are lungs of a great beast. So I'm thinking that if the trees are lungs, then they need to be like they're on the outside of creature. And so what are the crushed bones? Like maybe it seems a little too obvious that those could be like digested bits, or like the parts that weren't digested that were like crushed in the process of this creature digesting them. But what if instead, what if payment for secrets is a body? So maybe payment for the secrets is that, they have to feed beast. So that still leaves, the crushed bones as part of the digestive process, but it's not like, okay, you're coming here and you're going to be eaten. No, you're coming here and you have to bring an offering of some body, perhaps maybe even the body of the dead person. Body of person you want to talk to. Oh, that's creepy. That's really creepy. Yeah, I mean that I really like that. So, and then the bones would be the leftovers. That actually, I like that a lot more than like some giant random beast that's in there that's just eating things. I like the idea of this kind of intelligent thing that says, "Oh, you want answers from the dead? Okay, well here you can use you can use me to get answers from the dead, but you have to bring me an offering of a body. Um, yeah, that's kind of cool. Okay, hang on. Okay, so our setup is we have a main character, carrying body, across this desert to find answers about a I don't know about I'm just gonna put a question mark there. About what? From Living City with blood red trees that whisper answers. God, my handwriting is terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. And it's okay. Okay, so we've got our incentive. We've created the legends. Um, how does character know legend? This is something that I would answer in like the outlining process, like when I'm figuring out scenes, because I think that this would involve other people, that kind of a thing. So like maybe when we're plotting this out, because right now we're just kind of brainstorming ideas, but when we go to do the outline, um, we need a key incident. So is this legend part of the key incident or not? I don't know yet, but we need to know, how does the character know about the legend? Is it common knowledge? Is it some arcane thing that found in a book and he's taking the body of his mentor to go find answers about it? What is this? So I think that would probably be something that I would answer in the outline. Okay. So what I'm thinking is that at the start, his journey would start. Like, this is not outlining it. We can jump into the story at any point. In fact, because it's a short story, we'll probably squish it all and jump into maybe where the sand turns to bone and kind of let this person talk about what they're doing. I keep saying he, but it could be a she. It could be anybody. Um, when the sand turns to bone, and then kind of some backstory. And then moving into more tension. Okay, so if this guy's going, or guy, gal, whatever, is going on this journey. Ooh, wait a minute. What if, okay, we're going to turn the page here. What if the creature in the middle doesn't eat the bodies? Like, what if the body is to get across the desert? What this does is it adds danger to the desert. And it also adds a layer of emotional turmoil. Turmoil, that's the word I'm looking for. This body is supposed to pay a price. And now it's gone. That adds a really, really cool level of tension. So we've got this person, body, they cross. What makes it to the city? What do the trees tell him? I guess apparently I've decided he's him. What is he looking for? And does he make it out? I kind of like that these are my questions because all of these questions could be solved in just a matter of a few scenes. So this is the problem with me and short stories is that short stories need probably 3 to 5 scenes max, or 1,000 to 10,000 words. Which means that this all needs to be done very fast. So we would jump into kind of the middle of this journey as things are happening and kind of allude back to how he found out about the city, why he needs to go to the city, the decisions that he's made, but we have to allude back to it very quickly and set it up. So I would likely, if I was looking at my 2017 outline, I would likely drop a whole lot of like the key incident could be in the past, the inciting incident could be in the past. Like I would jump in right before the midpoint, right before that kind of mirror moment. And then because this is so short, there can't be a huge amount of character growth in this one thing. It's more about exploring a snippet of a story rather than the entire arc of this character's life. But at the same time, we do want a short story to have some sort of an emotional pull. So we want, I would say, if I were going to do this, I would want the middle. Then I would want some of the build up. And then the climax. And the resolution. And these would be the kind of 4 chunks that I would make sure to happen. But if you're doing this in like 1,000 words, then this needs to be like, 200 words. This needs to be like 200 words. This could be like 400 words, and this would be another like 200 words. Like if you're doing a short story, you want it to kind of be very, very compact and get a lot of information around as very quickly as possible. Another thing I really struggle with is I use a lot of passive voice in my writing. And in a short story like this, there's no room for passive voice. It all has to be active, which is something that I really struggle with because I like my flowery, expansive language. I like my passive voice because it creates kind of a weird different flow when you use it with active voice. Having the passive and the active together creates variation for the reader. And for me as a writer, I enjoy it. Whereas in a short story like this, passive language isn't something that can fly. So anyway, I am going to leave that off here. I think we've come up with some really cool ideas. If you guys have any feedback for me in the comments, any ideas of your own in the comments, that would be really cool to play with. Let me know. I am going to be back next week to do like a mock outline of what I think this would look like with you guys. And yeah, that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. I will link Quill and Steel and this list down below in the description. Go check them out. I love this list. I think that there's so many really cool ideas on this. So anyway, yeah, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I will be back in a couple of days.